This week's vlog question comes from a professional counselor in our community. They write, I'm a licensed counselor and came across the Summit Counseling resources. I'm very excited to see the church addressing these kinds of subjects, and I'm curious how you might see someone in my position, or a licensed clinical social worker or licensed marriage and family therapist, using these materials. I can see recommending them to my clients who are open to an overtly Christian aspect to their counseling, but it seems like there could be more uses than just counseling homework. Could you share your thoughts on how those in private practice might use these resources? Well, let me start by saying thank you for asking. We want the resources and services that we're providing to be an asset to everyone in our community. And we hope that the Christians serving as counselors in private practice and similar settings grow in their awareness, trust, and utilization of Summit Counseling resources. Now, there's three ways that I could see the Summit Counseling services serving you and your clients. The first is aftercare. Uh, as a counseling relationship concludes, it's natural for a counselor to ask, who do you have that you can be as honest with as you've been with me in the recent weeks or months? If the counselee's answer is no one, that's a major concern. The quality of relationships outside of counseling is a leading factor that influences the longevity of change. As a church with a strong commitment to small groups as a place where we do life together, and a growing number of counseling resources to equip our groups to effectively care for one another, Summit wants to be a place that you can recommend for this kind of authentic, supportive relationship. In order to preview the materials from Summit in the area of need your counselee may have, they can preview our Equip seminars at summitrdu.com/counseling. Or if they want to connect with a small group, they can visit summitrdu.com/small groups. We have a growing number of recovery groups known as freedom groups, which can also be an effective aftercare option for those who would benefit from a more structured environment for their next step from formal counseling to authentic, growing day-to-day relationships. Now, a second way that I think Summit Counseling could be of benefit to someone like yourself would be pro bono care. We know that you get many calls from individuals seeking counseling who may not be able to afford your services and do not have insurance. It can be hard to identify good resources for these individuals and families, and we understand you're limited in how many pro bono cases that you can take on at any given time. We have several formal counseling options that are completely free of charge. The aforementioned Freedom Groups is one of those options, but another is our graduate intern program that we've developed in conjunction with several seminaries and other graduate schools. On several nights per week, we have teams of master or doctoral level students who offer counseling for individuals and families. They meet in our pastors' offices after working hours, and there's usually 7 to 10 interns per counseling team meeting with, again, one-on-one with given individuals and families. These students are either receiving academic credit or working towards their postgraduate supervised hours. Some receive outside supervision towards licensure. Others are working to become excellent pastoral counselors. But I provide weekly supervision to all of the counseling interns and cohort groups to ensure a level of quality control in what they do. Anyone that you want to refer to this program can either call our church office at 919-383-7100, or they can visit our website at summitrdu.com/counseling to learn about these programs and get the needed intake forms for each one. Now, a third area that we would hope to be able to serve you is continuing education. We recognize there are many Christians who are counseling who have not had the opportunity to explore the intersection of their faith and practice. As one friend of mine recently said to me, I'm a Christian and I'm a counselor, but I'm not sure that what I do is something I would call Christian counseling. We would be delighted to serve you in this pursuit. We're exploring getting our seminars approved for CEU credits for licensed professional counselors, licensed marriage and family therapists, and licensed clinical social workers so that you can receive credits that you need each year by attending these events. But until we do, we would still love to have you attend or study at home in our video-based seminars. Not only do we want these events to sharpen your skills in counseling, but hopefully by attending these events, you begin to understand how to better utilize the breadth of resources that we have available to come alongside of you through Summit Counseling, whether that be for aftercare or pro bono purposes. Which brings me to one final point. We recognize that depending on your practice setting, how your intake forms, consent to counsel are worded, or the openness of a given counselee to discuss their faith, you may be limited in how much you can introduce faith into a given counseling conversation. We want the Summit Counseling Ministry to expand the number of legitimate and effective ways for you to be an advocate towards the gospel, even when you're limited in how overtly you can share the gospel. And that's why we created each of these options. Aftercare is something that should be standard practice to discuss with every counselee who is completing their counseling objectives. We believe we provide a legitimate option for you to include among other recommendations to your counselees who are graduating counseling. Pro bono care is an area where the free nature of our service gives you the freedom to recommend what we do, even if you do not have a parallel non-Christian option to recommend. We believe we provide a quality service that you can recommend with confidence. And hopefully, we can play a part in your continuing education to where these kinds of conversations become more and more natural as you seek to find a way to leverage the influence that you have with hurting people, trying to connect them with the kinds of relationships that can be a long-term support to them as they seek healing and restoration and direction for the struggles that they face in life. Thank you for what you do, and we hope that we can come alongside of you in that. Thank you.